Hello, everybody. Now let us know about the structure of C program. Uh, like how a human being is having a specific structure. Every C program, not only C program, every programming language will have its own structure. So today we are going to see about the structure of C program. This was the basic structure which every program has to be followed, especially our C program. Okay. So first, the structure of C program can be mainly divided into 6 parts, each having uh, its own purpose. Like how a human being is having all different parts, right? All different parts together is known as your human being, right? So like for eyes, we will be able to we will be able to see something. For hands, you'll do some work. For legs, we are using for walking and all. Nose for breathing and all. Similarly, each and every part in the structure of C program is also having its own purpose. Okay, so it makes the program easy to read, easy to modify, easy to document, and makes it consistent in format. So when you're trying to follow that particular structure, it will be very easy to read the program, and also it will be easy to modify the code whenever you wanted to modify, and easy to document, like it can be done in your maintenance, or like your algorithm can be written in the form of document, and makes it consistent in a particular format. So all the programs, if you will follow the particular structure, then it will be all your programs will be in a consistent format. So we'll see one by one what are the 6 parts of the C structure. So the first one comes is documentation, and then the second one is link, third is definition, fourth is global declaration, fifth is your main function, and sixth one is your subprogramming. So we'll see one by one what is documentation, what is your main function, what is linking, what is global declaration and all. So first we'll start with the documentation. So documentation consists of the description of the program, like programmer's names and creation of date. So the basic information can be written and stored in the form of documentation. These are generally written in the form of comments, right? So comments in your C program can be written in two ways: single line comments and multiple line comments. Single line comments can be done with 2 forward slashes. That is, when you are trying to give a single line comment, first you'll give the 2 forward slashes and then you will write a comment. So this comment will be in one line only. If you wanted to write multiple line comment, that is in 2 or 3 or 4 lines, if you wanted to make something as comment, then you will use forward slash and then star, then the content of 2 3 lines of matter, and then that content has to be closed with the star symbol and the forward slash. So the comments can be written in the two different ways. And then next comes our linking process. So all the header files are included in this section, which contains different functions from the library. So just now, in the previous videos, I had said that square root of 99, if you wanted to do, will take some amount of time, right? But if you will come to any programming language, we already have some predefined libraries which are developed by the programmer developers, right? So for the SQRT, that is square root, already the code is developed by the C developers, and they had kept in the math.h header file. So if you will just include that math.h header file into your program, all the mathematical related functions, simply you can just call and pass the values to perform the arithmetic or whatever the operations on the variables. So that is nothing but your linking, and a copy of these header files is inserted into your code before compilation. And then next comes your definition. So it includes preprocessor directives which contain the symbolic constant. So if you wanted to create your own values, your own variables with some particular value, and that one you wanted to use in the rest of the program, then you can make that as a preprocessor directive with some special symbols. So generally you'll be using hash as a preprocessor directive. Okay, see, example is hash define. So it allows us to use constants in our code where you are trying to define some value for a variable, and it replaces all the constants with its value in the code. As I said, if I give hash define I is equals to 10. So wherever the I value is there in my program, it will take the value as 10. So this is nothing but your definition. And then next comes your global declaration. So global declaration includes the global variables, function declaration, static global variables, and functions. So global is nothing but something which is accessible by all the functions. If I had written some a is equals to 10, I can use that same in main method and also in the sub addition or subtraction, how many n number of methods you'll be writing in your program, right? So all those methods can be access the global variables, which are not limited to some particular block. If you will write them globally, it can be accessible in whole program. It may be 1,000 lines of code or 1 lakh lines of code. If you will write something globally, all those 1,000 lines of code will be able to access those values, right? So that is nothing but your global declaration. And then next comes your main function. So every C program, in every C program, the execution starts from the main function. So uh, um, main is a function which indicates the compiler that this was the starting point of the execution, right? So whatever the programming, it may be Java, C or C++, whatever it may be, you will have the main function commonly, right? And it is mandatory to include a main function in every C program, right? And then, yes, here comes one of the sample documentation, then small program for subtraction. So where you can see the documentation and linking and definition, and I'm declaring some function that is nothing but int sub and some main function, and then your sub program, right? So all these are different 6 parts. First, you'll have the documentation. What they said in the documentation, generally you will be able to write details of the program, like who is the author, you means I, or if you write it is your name, what, how you are saving that file name, it is sub dot c because I'm trying to do subtraction. And then description I can do here, program to do subtraction. In a short form, it should be understandable. See, if I give this program for the unknown person who don't know C, at least he'll be able to understand it. What the program is, he'll be able to know by just looking at this documentation part. So it should be in such an understandable way for the user. Then the next thing is linking. So when you are trying, so what I was linking here, stdio.h header file, I was linking to my program. And what I'm doing here, defining a value as 1. So I had used hash define values, content is 1, right? So the 1 will be stored in the value. So wherever the value is used here, right, its value will be 1. Next, what I'm doing here, global declaration. Globally, I was declaring a method sub, where it is taking some value as input and it is going to return some value as output. And then as usual, you'll be starting with your main. So generally main is not going to take any input value. So we are keeping void. Even if you don't keep void also, it will work. Okay. And yes, so in this main program, I'm writing actual, no, I was just declaring a variable int c is equals to 20 and print, actually I should write here some, sorry, sub, but it is, I had written some. So this such type of errors are nothing but your logical errors. You'll get the answer, sorry. What is it? This type of errors are simple errors. That is, if suppose logic is correct, but in the output you'll get as sum. So if I do 20 plus 1, generally I should get 21, right? But we are writing the program for subtraction. So such type of errors has to be cleared out when you're trying to design a program. Okay, so what did I do here? Instead of sum, I should write actually sub here. So int c is equals to 20, printf sum is percentile d. So this is nothing but your access specifier, that is you are trying to print integer or float. So generally for integer you will be using the percentile d. And from where do I should get the subtraction value? I need to get the subtraction value from here, right? So this was the sub program. So how you are calling this one? By sub. Sub is this function's name. So you are just calling sub, right? And this value is being printed here. So this is going to return some value, no? So that is being printed here. So sub C. Why I was writing here C? Because this function is going to accept some input. That is nothing but your C. So now what is the value of C? This 20. 20 is being copied here. From here it will come to here. In this I had written logic that return C minus value. What is the C value now? It is 20. What is the value? Value is 1. We had written here 1. See here in the definition part. So 20 minus 1 is nothing but your 19. So this function is going to return some value that is nothing but integer value 19. So when it is going to return 19, that was coming and printed over here, right? And I had written for main function as integer return type. So I was just simply returning int 0. And this is how your general C program will look like. All 6 parts: documentation, link, definition, global declaration, main function, and then all your sub programs, right? So this is what the basic structure of C program. I hope this video is clear for everyone. Okay. Thank you all.